All right, you guys should be able to hear us. Fair warning, I'm still new to making this new format. So guys, just bear with me, man. Bear with me. I gotta do it live because for some reason in OBS it it doesn't show you. I don't know why. Uh, all right, we're live though, by the way.
Oh, hello everyone. How are you?
Yeah, there's got to be a simpler way of doing this.
I'm just tweeting it out and I'm sending it to friends and family.
You know what's funny? Because this is so new, I didn't even know what to name this. I was like, I'm just gonna name it "We Love Everything." Like,
It's-
it's like because until like we get kind of an understanding what we want the show to be, really. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, guys, you should be able to see us relatively okay. We are having this revamp just a little bit. You guys will just have to bear with us until we finish it. Um, but what's going on, you guys? This is the R&R with the Lords. You know, we have a couple topics, not a whole lot, because right now, you know, TV and movies they're a little bit down in terms of everything, but they're gonna pick up here real soon, real fast. But the good thing about this, King, is like we can iron out the way we want the show to be before the real stuff starts popping off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely because next year looks crazy. But even so, my behind has found stuff to look at. So,
So I guess the first thing we could talk about is the homework, man. We could talk about the homework first. So
oh,
how'd you what all did you watch with Attack on Titan?
so 2 episodes of
Two
Attack on
episodes.
Titan. 2 episodes, and you told me it gets better after the third episode. So the first 2 episodes, first of all, I was mad as hell that there's a bunch of butt naked giants outside the wall, right? But they don't know why they're locked inside there or corralled like cattle. And this one little kid, he he wants them to put respect on the name of the military, but he sees the military as not even working hard enough to get the accolades that they get and get the praise that they get. And then he's seen them have to go to war. And then he's seen his moms die when the giants started coming over the gate and coming through the walls. It's like, uh, and these giants just want the taste of human flesh. They just want to eat humans. So it's more like they go out. It's just like cattle. Like they have them around in this world. They build this wall. They think they're safe. They're not safe at all, and they just continue to breed and multiply. And then the giants come in, dwindle the numbers, eat them up, and then leave because they went out there to go kill one giant, and that giant killed and decimated half the squad, and they didn't even kill that giant. So I don't know, man. It's interesting stuff right now. Is I'm still lukewarm on the series on Attack on Titan, but I'm still gonna give it a chance.
Here's the thing. Attack on Titan's one of those shows where they introduce you to a lore and then they're like about 10, 15, 20 episodes in they're like, "Oh, we lied." And then like 10, 15 episodes after that, "Oh, we lied again." And then like 10, 15, "Oh, you think you know the world? We lied again." Like it's
Oh,
just constantly like reevaluating like what you think is going on. It's kind of like
Okay.
Lost. Lost did that a lot.
Yeah, remember that? Like, I got so pissed off with Lost when they just woke up on the island, they were stranded, and we had no idea what the hell was going on. Then it was the government abduction, or was it aliens, or was it something else? I fell off of the series
But
very early on.
it does do a good job after. Here's the thing, like you right now you're in the initial, like you're in the walls, the wall more Maria. I can't remember the three walls. If someone in the chat, I know you've seen it. Put the three walls in the chat. But you're establishing the laws of the walls, and you know
Okay.
they feel safe behind the walls. Have you been introduced into the scouts yet?
Well, those dudes that go out to
Yeah,
fight.
go outside the walls.
Yeah, the dudes with the machines on them with the blades and stuff.
Yeah, so you're being established the laws of that area, because for the most part, for like the next, I would say 3 or 4 episodes, it's going to be primarily in that second wall, because at the beginning, the end, yeah, Rose, that's right. I can't remember which one, but at the beginning, the first episode you saw the Colossal Titan destroy the outer wall. I think it was Maria and Rose. And so pretty much forced all that population and that whole wall to go to the second wall. And keep in mind, the rich people live in the middle, like the rich people. And so obviously
these are commoners right now. From what I'm saying, like they're peasants. So
yeah, and they don't want, the rich folks don't want the poor folks to live in that wall with them.
Of course not.
Yeah, because obviously, you know, you get a center area, and when you keep expanding, the room gets a lot more. So the center wall is the smallest by far. The second wall is a little bit bigger, and the third wall is by far the most, because they have the most space between them. So every time they lose one of those walls, it forces like huge starvation, because they've lost all that access to the farmlands that they would have. So it's a really in-depth thing, and I'm feeling that you get a couple more episodes, you're gonna have a different tone.
All right. Well, you know, I'm basing it off of my greatest cartoon of all time, anime of all time, is Naruto. I just, you know, love the character, love the storyline. I love the fact that on Fortnite I got it. Shout out to Monkey. I was racing home to get to play with him on Fortnite, but you know, R&R with the Lords first, and then get a chance to hang out with the Monkster.
And my homework for you next week, get up to episode 6. And then
okay.
Come back.
I am. It's just, you know, Thanksgiving week, got people flying in, family members, all this stuff. It's crazy. It's a crazy week. Normally, I don't do anything on Tuesdays, and here I am, stuck in the Bronx, stuck in the Book of Eli.
Is that where that movie's taking place at?
No. I just call it the it's like Fallout. It's like I'm gonna take you to the Bronx when you come back to New York, so you can see exactly what Fallout looks like live. Like since you like Fallout, I want to take Maddie to the Bronx and just drop him in the middle of the Bronx, and cause since he like Fallout so much, him and Anchorman.
I ain't trying to do that, man. You ain't doing that to me. I like living, and
you're not gonna die.
No, it's not that I'm gonna die. It's just I'm gonna feel mad, intimidated everywhere I go, because I don't know the area. Yeah. I don't know what's going on. I've heard stories, so that you got that on top of it too. I've seen Power, so
yeah, definitely. Book of Eli. The Bronx is the Book of Eli.
So I did watch your movie last week. This week.
Yes.
You know what's funny? There is a show that just had a new season called The Barbarians on Netflix.
Right.
And I thought that's what you wanted me to watch.
No.
I've watched 3 episodes of that.
How was it for you?
I was just like, well, I got to finish it. Like, I thought you wanted me.
You thought it was
because it was new. So that's right. Because you know how like Netflix has that new icon that pops up on there? I thought that's what you wanted me to watch. So I watched 3 episodes. And I'm not saying the show's bad. It's not bad, but I will say there's other stuff you guys can watch. Like,
I like Avalon 5. I'm watching Avalon 5 on HBO Max. I think it's actually the funniest thing that's on, because I like space drama. So this is space drama comedy, and then I like the actor that played House on the show House. I like him as an actor, and he's absolutely hilarious in his role as a captain. There's so much stuff that's going on Avalon 5. If anybody gets a chance to watch it, it is probably one of the funniest just space drama comedy shows that you can watch. You will have a great time watching it. It's funny, it's entertaining, and it gives you a sense. It's so much going on that there's not a time for you to not be entertained. Somebody has something going on, so that's dope stuff. But let's get to the main event. We don't want to hold the people. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, Barbarian. All right, first off, I'm watching. I think it's going to be like some stalkerish kind of movie.
Yep.
You know, it's going to be a movie that I cringe because it's a white dude doing it, first off. Second off, I'm like, man, do we really need more stories about like stalkerish white men? Because it gets like that's the way they love to go with that. And
we're gonna put a spoiler alert in the middle. No, we gotta start having the title of the movie in the middle.
I feel you.
Yeah, let's. You want me to send it to you?
Yeah, I mean, we can do that. That's fine. But how am I going to have the title in the middle with the spoiler alert as well?
Well, either one. You know, the Barbarian. I mean, yeah, Barbarian. Just, you know.
We are, just to clarify, guys, we are working on changing this format completely. Like, I want to put a spoiler thing somewhere that glows when we're spoiling, because I want to use the middle part for actual coverage instead of what's being used for. So there's the spoiler. It's this movie. I would say it's a good movie. Well, it's definitely like a B-rated movie. Like, I was, when I got the beginning. So pretty much what happens, they make you think it's like some stalkers thing. They make this dude mad, weird, like completely giving weird vibes. Like, I'm not even the chick.
But you're not setting it up.
Hold on.
Right, let me set it up how the movie starts.
Okay, so the movie starts. This individual, she gets out and she gets an Airbnb.
Her name is Tess. That's
Tess. So Tess gets out. She gets an Airbnb. First off, what's funny is they kind of make you think that she got the wrong Airbnb because she messed up the password at the beginning. So she realizes she messed up the password, and she puts the right password in. I don't know if any of you that does Airbnb in the chat, but usually they have like some mechanism that lets you get in the house. Like, they'll have on the door itself, they'll have where you have to put a code in or something. But this is one of those things where it was the mailbox had a mechanism where you could get the key out of the mailbox. So she opens it and there's nothing there. So she calls. Apparently the people who did this are idiots and they double booked the Airbnb. And there's a gentleman that is currently in the house. So he invites her in. And keep in mind, this dude is being weird, mad weird the entire time.
Okay, but all right. We got to say who the guy is. That's the guy who played It. So you already know, normally, without the makeup, he looks crazy. Go.
Oh, he's the who played It?
Yeah, that's the dude who plays It. You don't notice his eye? His eye goes to the left like a Frenchie.
But so pretty much how they make you plan out to be is this dude, it kind of making you seem like it's a stalkerish kind of thing and she's going to stay there. You know what's funny? When she woke up in the middle of the night because he ended up giving her her bedroom, and the door was open. So, and he claimed he didn't do it. And he was like on the couch, like spazzing out. So what's funny is I'm thinking she about to go to bed and the movie about to start. You know what I'm saying? But she wakes up and it's in the daytime. Like, oh, I didn't expect that. Like, cause the movie's not about a stalker. Like, so the dude leaves and she leaves and she does that interview. And when she was like, yo, I'm Airbnb in here. The interview was like, no, girl, you got to leave there. Like, no, like, you ain't doing that. Like,
cause it happens in Detroit, Michigan. Right. So, all right. So let me give y'all a little bit of context. Okay. So Addie got up to the following day. Right. So that night when she pulls in, it's heavy rain. So she doesn't see the neighborhood as she's getting in. It's
Well,
just
to
dark
be honest, it's
neighborhood.
like really dark too. Like I don't think she really
Yeah,
saw it that well either.
exactly. So you know what it felt like to me? It felt like when we went to Boston, when we went to PAX.
Mm-hmm.
So she coming in, and she tries to get in, and she has the wrong passcode, like Attic said, to open the door. So Tess is she goes in, she gets the password, and she gets it right, and then the box opens up. So the box opens up, but there's no key inside. So she turns around automatically, just like everybody would do. Call Airbnb, yo. There's no key here. I'm here. I paid my money. Blah blah blah. But she gets an answering service. Nobody picks up, and she goes like, "Yo,
And we'll get back to this answering service because these people are crazy. We'll get back to that in a second.
yeah, this is crazy." So the dude opens the door because he hears somebody outside fumbling with the front of the door. He's in a house by himself in this weird neighborhood, and the dude opens the door. So you automatically assume that it's little bit old or middle-aged white dude, and I'm thinking it's going to be a torture type of thing, like he's trying to lure her in, like he's not supposed to be there. And she did all the requisite stuff. She had to go to the bathroom, and she did all the requisite stuff. Let me see your confirmation. So she booked with Airbnb, but he booked with some other thing called like Safe Home or something like that, another app. So the apps clashed and overbooked, right? So they overlapped. So he got there first. So it was just he got there first. But we still thinking that he's a fraud.
Yeah, he I don't know. I kind of chilled on him at that point because when I went back in on him, like
what
is when she came out of the bathroom and he had the wine bottle. So
I was like, there, right?
and just it gave me some You vibes. Some huge hardcore. Have you ever seen the show You?
Yes.
It gave me You vibes, but not like Joe is actually like he can blend in being creepy as hell and no one would know.
Right.
Because he actually, obviously he doesn't give that like weird energy vibe. And so I'm sitting there.
Dude was though.
And he was like this.
And he's sitting there staring at her, and she just comes out the shower because remember she told him she has a thing with sleeping on sheets. So they wash the sheets, and he's trying to show her like, yo, look, I'm not the stalker dude, like it just happened this way. And was like a gentleman enough to he said, I was raised the right way, you can get the bedroom, I'll take the couch. And it's sounding all good.
You know what I thought when she was like, you could take the couch. I'm like, don't take that couch. I mean, you could take the bed. I'm like, don't take that bed. The bed is farther away from the door. Like,
exactly. I said the same thing. I was like, I wouldn't have did that because the bed is further away. It's into
maybe
the
she
house.
felt a little bit more comfortable because it had a door and a locking mechanism.
Yeah, well, that too. But okay, so she saw his wallet.
Yeah, she took a
inside
picture
the
of
room.
the
He forgot it inside.
And
the room.
what's crazy? She never did anything else with that. Like, well, I mean, I guess she couldn't have. But
plot hole, right?
Yeah, because it's like, why would you take a picture of it when my assumption is like the next day when she did the job interview, she would research him. But it was just like, I felt like you opened up with that too much. Like you didn't need to do that.
She didn't even research him after he told her exactly who he really was. Remember, because he told her who he was and what company he was, and they're like a very well-to-do
it's funny.
company.
The people in the chat that hasn't seen this movie, they think they know what this movie's about.
Oh, you have no idea, buddy. That's why I told Attic, because Attic has like watched it halfway. I was like, please finish it. I said, because it's really not what you think it is. And the whole time I'm thinking it's one way. So when you
told me that, I assumed Homegirl was the psycho, and all the energy was being thrown on the dude, and like midway through you find out that she's the psycho. That's what I thought when you said that.
Well, like that movie. What was that movie?
1 second. Someone's at my door.
All right, go get it.
No, I can hear you.
Yeah, it's like that movie, Hard Candy. Remember where in Hard Candy they Keanu Reeves invites those girls over. Or was it Keanu Reeves? I think. Or it was somebody that he invited the girl over, and he thought he was going to molest her or rape her or whatever. and she wind up turning the tables on her. So I really like the movie Hard Candy. But all right, so in this joint, she comes out the bathroom, and the guy's sitting at the table, and he has the wine there and the glasses, and he's stammering because he's trying to, like break the tension. And he's like, yeah, I didn't want to open a bottle of wine because I didn't want you to see it open and think I did something to it. So I'd rather wait for you to come out. So he literally sat right there with
He did everything right. He did everything right.
He did. I mean,
here's the question: you think he was trying to get some? Like,
yes.
Part of me thinks he was.
She was pretty though.
Yeah, part of me thinks he was, and the other part of me was thinking he was just being polite. Like,
I don't know. I'm a guy, so I'm a dirty-minded dude, and if anytime you introduce alcohol to a woman that you just meet, my thoughts is you're trying to lay, but see, also that comes from a different background. Maybe he was just trying to. We got to live here together. We be cordial. Try to put her mind at ease because he's supposed to be this good guy. Mm-hmm. And she goes to bed. They go to bed, right? He sleeps on the couch. She goes in the room, locks the door because they did have some drinks first. And they did talk. She
didn't lock the door at first.
She did. Remember?
The first time?
Yeah, the first time she locked the door. That's why it was so creepy when she woke up and the door was open.
Oh, I didn't know she locked it the first time.
Yeah, she locked it.
I didn't catch that.
So the dude is on the couch and he's having a nightmare. And he's like, no. So I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna switch into another personality and he's gonna choke her out, right? So I'm thinking
it didn't go that way either.
It didn't. She goes over there, she's standing over him, and he touches her, and she touches him, and he freaks out. But at the same time, you saw the basement door, the basement door leading down to the basement. In the background, you saw it close. So now one, they're not alone in the house. He didn't open the door, but is he in cahoots with the people that's inside the house or the person that's inside the house or something that's inside the house? So I didn't know if it was paranormal. I didn't know if it was a creature. I didn't know if it was a person. I didn't know anything.
Another thing that I kind of picked up on that was kind of like useless if you think about it, because we know what happens. When she woke him up, like his demeanor was completely different. Like he was rude, aggressive. So I think you're seeing a little bit of like his true inner self at that time. Like
that's what I thought. I thought he was gonna be a different person. Like he was schizophrenic or something. But think about it this way, Addict. You're staying in the house and the girl's inside the room. You don't know the chick at all. And the Airbnb thing, he's a little off guard too because she told him about the arrogance of man, how if she was there and she opened the door, he walks in with no problem.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but I ain't never done that. So
me personally, I'm too wary with things, so
Here's my question to you, King. Would you, if same scenario, would you have let her stay?
Hell no.
Yeah, I wouldn't have either. I'd be like, you don't got to go home, but you can't stay here. There's just too many. There's not happening. You got to protect yourself as a man sometimes. And that kind of scenario could go into 1,000 different areas, and you don't want to put yourself in that scenario. So
you got to think about it. You in the house, randomly, a house that you got Airbnb. First of all, why you got this big ass house? Be honest with you. By yourself,
one bedroom. One bedroom.
Big house. It's crazy. Anyway, so you
don't count the bedroom, the other bedroom.
We're gonna get to that. So you got this place, and somebody randomly knocks at the door, and you open it. It's a pretty girl. First of all,
and she was cute. She was cute.
She's cute as hell and smart. Nah, B, I don't trust you. Right off the rip, I think it's a scam. I'm thinking you setting me up. I think once you get me intoxicated or something, dudes is coming in and it's gonna be a rob scenario or something worse, something far sinister. So now she would have never
get a stranger's scenario where they're like, can I use your phone?
Not gonna happen, dude.
And the light in the porch is conveniently unscrewed so they can't see their face. Right?
You can't see who's outside. You're like, oh man, I can't see.
That's why you guys. That's why you invest into Ring bell cameras. That's why you invest. That way you don't even have to open the door. You don't have to look nothing. You just look at that phone. Be like, who you? Who this? Like,
so all right. we got to the next morning, and she realizes it's not that, but she has a job interview that she has to go to, and this guy left a note. So that was kind of weird within itself that he left a note, but he left a note with the key and told her to put the key back in the box so that he's able to get inside the house. She goes on her interview, and the interview is really good.
And they didn't even they kind of explained, but they didn't even really explain what he was doing there. Like they went into it a little bit.
Remember,
no,
he was looking for development areas.
But like they went into great detail what she was doing, and he just like was vague about it. Like I'm looking at
But remember, when he told her what company she was from, it's like in Google, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, the company is a big tech company, and they were looking for property in the area. And he said, I'm here to scout the properties that's in the area. Because remember,
I guess maybe what I'm referring to is just like they went through her perspective and they just kept him silent. You know what I'm saying?
Like I think that was intentional.
Yeah, because they wanted the point of view to be on her. But my mindset was like, well, obviously we know why they didn't do that with him because he's kind of irrelevant to the story. But
exactly. So I know he's the dude from It. I know he's the big star of the film.
And it's weird what they did with him.
I'm expecting weird things. And, she goes on the interview and the lady's like, yeah, so where you staying? And she's like, I'm staying over here at Dunbury. And she was like, what? Why? What? And she never gave her a chance to finish her conversation, her words. And listen, guys, anytime you're having a conversation with somebody, let it be a conversation. Don't try to dictate it because that person might have pertinent information. And knowing now what happens in this movie, that information was vital at that point in time.
She didn't push back a lot. She did not push back a lot. It's just like, nah, fam. And first off, let's be real here. The chick was stupid to even go back to that place. Like when she woke up in the morning and saw the condition of the neighborhood, I wouldn't have went back. I'd have slept in my car at a Walmart parking lot. Like
no. Literally, that was the only place in probably like a 10-block radius that was functional. Everything else was abandoned buildings with graffiti written all over them. No cars. Her car was the only car that, even that guy didn't even have a car. Did you notice that he didn't have a car?
Who was Ubering that dude? Like,
exactly. See, so that I'm like, that's why I thought he was strange, because when she got there, it was no car. And then the next morning, well, obviously he left already, so it wasn't no car, right? But later on in the scenario, there was never a car. So I don't know how the hell he was getting from point A to point B, but he was making it there. So she goes back to the place, and she goes back, and it's all in the daytime. She still sees how this place is the only standing place. She goes back there, she gets the key, and now curiosity sets in, and she wants to go throughout the house to check stuff out. And she goes to the basement, and when she goes down into the basement, the door locks behind her.
Yeah, it was...
the door slowly closing. So I said, yeah, this is where the movie starts. I said, they gonna get her ass.
The first thing I thought is homeboy down there somewhere. Like,
yes, I thought so. I'm thinking a Jeffrey Dahmer thing, a Norman Bates thing, and she's down there for a little bit. She's stuck in there, and then she sees a string, and she pulls the string, and a trap door opens. So it's a big wall. And it opens, and it leads to a dark chamber. It's dark in there. You can't see. What did you think when she opened that trap door?
When she opened that trap door and looked down, I was thinking to myself, because originally she kind of like tempted herself to go in, and then she's like, nah, ain't doing that. No, we ain't. And then I was thinking to myself, well, I mean, if there's someone in there, you're screwed. You have no way back upstairs. So... yeah, someone in the chat said gas prices high, addict. She ain't going nowhere else. Nah, we're just nah. So pretty much what happened is after that, she goes into the room, She puts
she
this
sets
like
the
mirror
mirror
thing
up.
down. Yeah, she puts this mirror down to put a little bit more light into that dark room. Because you gotta look. I gotta be honest with you guys. Like, this is how it is. Like, I wish I knew how much we could get away with by showing stuff on YouTube on movies, because it's definitely
an unfinished basement, like section. So
no
it's just
lights at all.
concrete.
No lights.
No lights, just one light that's pointed inside the normal room she's at.
Hold on. I know what I'll do.
You can do it?
I'll bring it up on Amazon Prime, but I'll pause on that particular. It would look like a picture.
What do you mean Amazon Prime? You mean HBO Max?
Oh, HBO Max. It is on HBO
right.
Max.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
So to check it out, guys. Right. So check it. So she positions the mirror to look to shine a light down the hallway. She has so much balls. I swear, I don't possess those. Right. So
I was sat right there. I
would have broke through that door. I'm getting out of the house. I'm getting out of the house. You're not locking me in the basement. I'm getting out of the house. So as she's going down in a room, there's an R. Kelly room. Shout out to Free R. Kelly. There's a room. In the room, there's a bucket, a light, a bed with a soiled, messed up mattress, and a camera, an old school camera. Could you imagine the level of horror you see when you turn that corner? You don't know what you're gonna see when you turn the corner and see the room. But
I thought he was gonna be behind the door. I thought he was gonna shut the door.
I held my breath, right? Because I'm like, oh my God. She found a situation. She bailed the mouse. Like, uh-oh. I said, you got to get out there, love. Love. I'm start talking to the screen. I'm like, love, you got to get out of there. And she's looking around, and she's kind of freaked out, but she wants to get out of there. And she runs to the window, and she's banging on the window. Guess who shows up?
Conveniently.
Oh, we skipped the part where the bum running at her outside.
Yeah, because and what's funny is I kind of knew that was gonna help her in the future, because that seemed real convenient. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, the bum running at her saying, hey girl, come here, girl. She never listens to anybody. She never listens to even the bum. I'm like, yo, man, back up off me, B. Hold on, stand. Give me 6 feet.
This is all I'm gonna show you guys, because obviously we gotta protect ourselves. But
check this out.
This is what the place looked like. Let me change this to a screen cap. So pretty much what when she opens the thing, she sees this, and keep in mind, this is something that would scare just about anyone.
Terrified me.
Is it showing it?
No, I don't see nothing yet. But you'll probably see it. Remember, we're on a little bit ahead to the stream. So
it's not showing it though.
Yeah, it still says spoiler. All right, so the dude is outside. The dude who played it, Bill's outside, right? So I'm like, oh snap! He's like, yo, what are you doing down there, right? So she's like, they like push the window. I'm gonna push the window. You pull the window, the little window for the basement, and he does it, and she does it, and then she's able to slip him the key. So she slips him the key. And he comes and he opens the door, and she runs out. She's like, yo, we got to get out of here. There's a trap door down there with a bucket in the bed and the camera, and we got to go. And he's like, yo, calm down, man. We can go, but hold on. I'm not going to go off of your word. I want to see what's down there. And she's like, yo, what's wrong with you? Don't you go down there. She's staying upstairs. He's like, yo, give me 30 seconds. 30 seconds. I'm going to go down there, and I'm going to see. Then we can leave. 30 seconds. First of all, homeboy, I'm going to call you. I don't owe you anything.
Yeah.
We're not friends and we're not buddies.
You could tell that at that point, she was feeling him.
Yeah, she liked him.
Yeah, and you could tell that, she generally did not want that man to be hurt. and it's just like that's what screwed her in the end.
Yo, so he goes downstairs. He's downstairs for longer than 30 seconds. So she start calling out his name. And I forgot his name, so I'm going to calling him by his real name. His real name is Bill, right? So he's like, Bill. He's like, help.
and it's so, you can't hear it. Like, that's how.
It's faint.
Yeah, you can't, like, the only reason I knew that he was screaming is because the caption at the bottom was saying Bill was screaming for help. Like.
And it was so low. It was so faint, but she can hear it, though, right? She's like, Bill. He's like, help me. So she goes down the steps, but she puts something so the door doesn't lock, because they try to lock her again.
Yeah, so this is all I could show you guys. Like, this is how dark it is down there. Like, you could see, like, in front of you, there's no light behind her, and that's a long hallway she's in right now. That's how dark it is. Like, there's only, like, one source of light in that entire, like, I'd call it a catacomb. Like,
but we didn't get to that part yet. So we're still talking about the one room with the bedroom and the bucket. That's exactly what's up down there. That's exactly what's up down there. So she has a cell phone. So, us, the technology, we got a light on the joint. So she sees the room and the bucket and stuff, but this dude is still screaming. She goes down. There's another room behind a steel door. But you didn't notice the steel door because it was dark. So she opens the door, and it's literally a catacomb with steps going down. What is it?
Oh, we have a super chat. Now, I this didn't happen a lot, and I didn't know. I actually that you're bringing it up. He says, as a Sublime arc. Dude, I definitely butchering that. I'm not going to even try to announce that because it's just going to make you look bad. My brothers, I love this movie. Did y'all pick up on what those phone calls were about shortly? That she kept ignoring. Remember, she kept ignoring those phone calls at the beginning.
Wasn't that her boyfriend?
But that's another plot hole. Like, it's not like that boy was going and trying to save her. Like, it's little things like that. Like doing that, looking at the ID. I would have preferred more to... Okay, keep going, because I can't say this without us continuing.
Okay, so she sees this unfinished catacombs, the steps that goes down, right? So just picture it.
Question, would you go down them?
First, on God, man.
I wouldn't even.
I am
back
not
in
that curious, dude.
I wouldn't.
I'm not. I wasn't going to be there. I would have never been at the house, though. Like, the key situation didn't go right. I would have saw it outside in the daytime. I would have found out the borough that I was in. Like, not gonna happen.
It's like I said, I would have drove to the nearest Walmart and slept in that car before. Because keep in mind, the reason she didn't do that is because there was a huge convention and there wasn't room for her to go. There was no hotels available.
No, he told her it was a huge convention, and when she said that to the lady had a face like, really? So I was left to say...
But she called the hotel, and they said that there were no rooms.
Oh, okay.
Remember when she was talking to the hotel?
I skipped that part. I noted that he said it was no rooms, but the fact that he said it was like a convention there, I didn't believe him. Anyway, I'm still skeptical at this point in time.
You think he was just trying to keep her there?
Exactly. You got to stay here till my people show up type of thing. I don't know. But he's yelling down in his basement. I'm like, how did you get all the way down there? Like, what's wrong with you? First of all, I'm not going in there. And he's screaming. And it's loud. It's very audible. And he's screaming out of this dark hole. And she decides to go deeper into this dark hole.
She's frightened every step she takes. Her voice is shaking. She's like, Keith.
Yeah, and boogers is coming out her nose, and she's like, "Keith, are you okay? Please be okay." I don't have this level of concern over somebody I just met, but again, she has this level of concern. Maybe she thought this was going to be her baby daddy. I have no idea. Her future husband. I don't know, the guy that she's supposed to spend her life with, and he's going to tell his horrible story to everybody that they met. This is how we meet. He comes running down the hallway, screaming. Don't go that way. Don't go that way. Come with me deeper into the hole. hells to the no. Like, yo, we gonna go back this way.
They could have potentially got out of there if she left like immediately when she caught him. Like,
yes,
because then what the real movie's about is what happens next. Like, keep in mind they're fighting. They're fighting in this catacomb about which way to go.
And he's terrified. His eyes look scared. He's terrified, but she's terrified too. But I'm thinking he's trying to trick her. I'm thinking there's nothing down there, and he's trying to trick her because remember, she walked past rooms and she saw cages with bowls in it, like they had dogs or something in it, like they had wild livestock in these cages or something. And she saw that, and he comes screaming, and you don't know what. He's trying to pull her deeper into the catacombs, and she's like, "No, the way out is this way," and he's trying to pull her deeper. And then the monster shows up.
Yeah, it's a barbarian. Like this thing, it's like deformed from years of incest, and
the hills
like,
have eyes.
Yeah, it literally squished his head. Like he's dead now. Like it was a wrap.
He smashed his head up against the wall. I was in shock. Was you in shock?
At that point I was like, okay, maybe I'll keep going. Like.
and then it's like scene, and then you have the dude from Jeepers Creepers driving in the car, singing a song, having a good time, and I get automatically hyped because I see the Jeepers Creepers dude. I'm like, yo,
that's when I was like, oh, this is it. I was like,
this is it. This is the movie, right?
And what's funny, man, is I didn't like the dude by the end of the movie.
I hated him. Yo, I hated. Because, in Jeepers Creepers, he's the good guy. He's a nice guy. He's a good guy. And then they get him hair. And the phone call he's having on the phone is with the HR department and his lawyer at the same time. And they're telling them the movie's not going to... they did a pilot for a show. And the pilot might go forward, but whatever they do, they're not going to go forward with you. And he's like, why? What happened? What's going on? And he's sounding really shocked in what's going on. And they said, well, your co-actress has some allegations about you. He's like, what is the allegations? What's up? What's going on? And he was like, well, and everybody's telling him, yo, calm down. Like, really shut up, because this line is being tapped and being recorded type of thing. Shut up. Like, because whatever you say is going to be used against you. Right? And come to find out, the woman says that he raped her. And it's a moment where he's like, no, that didn't happen. I need to talk to her. We need to clear this up. And the lawyer's like, absolutely not. Whatever you do not call this woman. Stay the hell away from her. Absolutely not. So, again, he pulls over. He's like, I got to let y'all go. And he sits over at the side of the road, and you're looking at somebody at the height, because he was at the height. You just closed the big deal. You're about to make all this money. The plot twist to this is he's the owner of that Airbnb. So his financial advisor told him, get your money together, because this is going to be a long litigation.
The moment,
go ahead.
The moment he was like, well, what we're gonna do is he's like, well, I own property in Michigan. I was like, oh, I know where they're going with this.
When he started downsizing, and the guy is like, well, his financial advisor is like, I'm no longer going to be able to carry you. He's like, why? Nobody wants to be associated with him, right? And it comes along later. You learn along later in the film why people don't want to be associated with him. But right now, at this moment, at this point, right here, we believe that he's a good guy, right? We believe that, well, he has reasonable doubt. You got to have, you're innocent until proven guilty type of thing. And that's what I felt. I felt that, right? He's like, yeah, she was a friend of mine. I'm the one that recommended her for the movie. Like, what the hell is going on here? So it feels like he was blindsided. So, but it's little audio cues on how he deals with people verbally that he feels that is beneath him that allows you a little bit of insight onto who he truly is. Like when he was going to get the car, the rental car, and he's talking to people on the phone, he's referring to women as the B word. He's being condescending to individuals. So he gives you an entitled, aggressive, narcissistic vibe. He gives you a Tony Stark vibe, right? So he gets to Detroit. He gets to the Airbnb. He sees the car outside. He sees somebody's luggage inside. So he calls his representatives that represents the house.
One thing we didn't say is Homegirl was not killed by the Barbarian. It was just the dude. So you don't see the death on screen.
We don't know what happened.
Yeah, you don't see the death on scene. The moment that the dude from Pennywise was killed, it panned out. That was it for that scene. Like, it went straight to him driving. So, like, right there incentivizes she's still alive. Because I had this saying in TV, and I don't know if you have the same saying, King. No body, no crime. If I don't see a body that's dead or being killed, it never happened. They're alive.
Well, me personally, I thought that, she was dead. I thought that she was dead. I saw how brutal the whatchamacallit was, and I thought
you thought the movie was going to be about him getting killed next. Like
I thought that it was like a pit. Everybody that goes into the house, something is going to befall them until
like
the
American
world finds out.
Yeah,
I guess. I don't know. I didn't see none of this coming.
Well, I expected her to be alive. I did it. I expected him to go down in the basement and she in one of those cages. I really did. I expected.
You said
well, I wasn't entirely wrong. She wasn't in those cage, but
so he gets there, right? And he's such a dude that, his lawyer calls him. He's like, yo, where you at? He goes, I'm in Michigan. He said, what the hell are you doing over there? He said, well, I got to liquidate stuff to get money because you're not going to work pro bono. And he is like, why? Am I not supposed to? He said, am I going to get arrested? And his lawyer's like, quite possibly. Right? So that doesn't sound good off the rip. And then he tells him, well, let me get all this stuff together. And he calls the office and he's cursing out the representative for him that rents out the Airbnbs. They book it. So he's cursing her out on the phone and she hangs up and tells him, have a good day. Have a nice day. Nobody really wants to go to these properties. So, of course, double booking and triple booking in that place kind of happens probably because, again, it's so rare that they do get somebody to book. So he's like, well, how come a maid service didn't come here to clean it up? And she was like, well, only when, and this is the agent he's talking to on the phone, only when a new order comes in or a new reservation comes in, does the cleaning people come out, clean up the place, and then go. No one has booked it.
She hung up.
She hung up. She was like, no, I don't have nothing to do with this.
Now, here's my question. I think that was unprofessional of those people. Like, because he's asking genuine questions, like genuine questions.
But he's an ass at this time, really.
I get that, but when the conversation first started, he was just annoyed. He's like, look, there's people here. Like, you guys not even checking on these properties after they've been rented? Like, how do you not know they've been trashed? Like first off, how are you going to rent to someone when you don't even know the condition of the houses anymore?
This is true. But you got to think about it this way, too, Addict. She's like, this guy got one little property, and he's always worrying about this one little whack property. And that's in the butt end of town.
It's just, I personally felt like, and what's crazy? Another thing that they completely did for no reason. He talked to his buddy and he pretty much like admitted to low key, doing shady stuff. And what's funny is like he's talking to his buddy, and I'm thinking to myself, his buddy working for that chick, like he gonna come back and
it's what he said. It's what he said that let me know he was a dirty dude and he did actually violate that woman. He said, he's like, because he met his boy at the club for drinks. And they're drinking, he gets a little saucy, and his boy's like, yo, tell me, what's up, man? What really happened? I want to hear from you. I don't want to hear from no magazine. I don't want to hear from no expose. I want to hear straight from the horse's mouth. He's like, real talk? You want to hear it? He's like, yeah, man. He's like, well, at first she didn't want to, but she took a little convincing. First, no is no. All right? If I tell you no, don't you touch me again. That's it. Right? So... And he's like, she took a little convincing, but I'll put that charm on it. She was into it. She was all the way into it after that. Yeah,
she
because
probably thought you was gonna kill her if she didn't do it.
Exactly, because what he said, I'm gonna go get it, eye of the tiger, baby. There's no eye of the tiger there. So at that point right there, I knew that he was a bad dude. So he leaves from there, and as soon as he's hammered, automatically he comes home. He comes back to the Airbnb
and he calls
the girl on the phone.
And apologizes.
He confesses on the phone.
Yeah, you know what I was mad about? They never revisited that ever again. There was no conversation with the lawyer after that moment, because that's when he started going with that. Huh?
How could they though, really? Because how the events happened right after that.
I get that, but why introduce that in the first place then? Like, you could have just ended that whole lawyer thing with you shouldn't be going out of town or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, why introduce new factors into this? Because you got to consider that's money they have to spend for those voice actors. Like, it's just like I felt like that scene was useless. It's like you literally brought up scenarios, because I was expecting a phone call that was like, yo, why'd you call her? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, like somebody checking in on this dude because he's off the rails at this time. So all right, so let's advance the story, right? So he goes downstairs because he's checking the square footage of the place, right?
He's looking
at the place because he's trying to sell the place to liquidate to get some bread to start his defense. And he finds the trap door. He finds the room, and he goes in and he sees. And see, this dude is so money hungry. He doesn't see danger.
He sees money, and it's
weird.
Sees money. It's weird. Like, it's completely. I don't see, even the most money hungry people I know wouldn't act like that. Like, because it's like
so strange.
It was like. So keep in mind, guys. This dude, first off, he goes to the bottom because there's two trap doors. There's one that goes into the catacombs and one goes to that weird room. So he sees this bed, this mad, like, weird room. And I wouldn't even show it because it's so, like, what was being done in this room.
Yeah,
so
it's no good.
Instead of being mortified when he sees it, he's like, how big is it? How tall is it? Like,
he's checking. He's like, okay, this is 10 by 10. Yeah. And then he goes on Google and says, is hidden rooms considered part of the square footage of the house? And it said yes.
And what's funny is I was thinking to myself, even if these catacombs and stuff was part of the house, I don't think you could sell it like that anyway, because it's probably going into public domain areas, and like it was just weird. Because then when he found the second trap door, he went to the basement. This dude's taking the tape and he's going down this catacomb hallway. He's seeing these cages, and he's like, the only thing he says is, "Oh, that's weird," and then keeps going down the hallway with the tape.
So the measuring tape gets yanked out his hand.
And we know what that was.
So it's the monster. The monster has to be at least 8 foot tall, butt naked. It's a butt naked woman.
Everything's shown, by the way.
Everything's out. And she is running down the hallway. She can't talk. Oh, he goes past the room where it's a TV and it stinks like hell. And it's a TV in there with a baby tape of a woman breastfeeding a child. And then we get scene again. So it automatically goes back in time because there's this guy driving an old school car and he's driving. He goes to this store and he goes inside the store and he's getting all this baby supply stuff because the woman asked him, "What do you need?" He said, "I need diapers. I need stuff. My wife is about to give birth." And she goes, "Oh, you're going to take her over to XYZ hospital?" And he was like, "No, we're going to be the midwife." And she was like, "Oh, you got a good midwife?" And he was like, "No, it's all me." Oh, okay. And she's like, "This is normal."
Yeah, you got to think back then, that's completely not normal. Like, that's weird.
Yeah, it was strange. So, okay, she gives him all the stuff that he's going to need for the baby and the videotape, the same videotape that you saw inside that room. So he comes out and he sits in his car as he puts his stuff in the trunk. And there's a lady across the way putting stuff in her car. Very attractive lady, I might add. And you know something nefarious going on here. Now, this guy name is Frank. So he pulls up. The lady gets out and goes in her house. He pulls up behind, goes in his trunk, and pull out a suit. And it says Carlos. And it's for the local electric company. He goes and he knocks on the door. He tells the lady that they have outages in the area. She automatically lets him in the house. See, now this time in day and age, anytime Con Ed comes to my house, I got to verify your credentials. I got to verify they sent you. I do it all on my phone, very quickly, very easily. Well, this is back then. They didn't have that, and they went on the virtual of others. He comes in the house. He checks the water, checks that everything is on. I guess he was with the local water people, whatever. He checks the water. The water's running. But he opens the bathroom window.
Which I was just curious, like, did homeboy not think that she might recheck the windows before she, like, goes to bed? Like,
she didn't.
Well, I mean, we don't know, but most likely she did.
Well, we do know because we saw her dress later. So when the situation happens. So, all right. Scene back to the dude in the hallway. And he's getting thrown into a cage because he runs and he goes into the pit, right? So he runs and he goes inside she runs and falls inside the pit. When he falls inside the pit, the black girl is down in the pit. And hold on 1 second. I'm getting people bothering me when they know that I'm on the show.
Yeah,
anyway, so go ahead.
I was going to say, like, the funny thing about that whole scenario is it's just, I'm curious how homegirl lived for 2 weeks with that thing.
Yeah, because 3 weeks. It was 2 weeks after that, right?
Mm-hmm. They said, I think it was 3 weeks, actually.
So now she's in the pit. He falls down in the pit because he had a knife. And it cut him. He cut himself with the knife. So he's down there bleeding. And she's like, shh, shh, shh. The monster closes the top. But she sticks her hand in there with a baby bottle. And she's like, yo, suck this baby bottle.
Yeah, she doesn't say it, though.
She's like, And then the girl, she sucks the baby bottle like, good. She's like, hurry up and do it. Don't you get up. Don't you buck up on her. And then she puts it in his mouth and he goes, oh, that's disgusting. And he pushes it away.
Yeah. And keep in mind the entire time the black lady is saying, yo, put that in your mouth. Suck that bottle. Like, he's like, if you flip out, she's going to kill you.
Yes. Yo, so it's nasty. It is probably the most disgusting thing you can, because there's hair all over the bottle nipple. Hey, yo, he's in a pit. He's in a dark pit with a strange lady he don't know, with somebody forcing a dirty bottle down in your throat with God knows what. So she grabs him. She jumps down there with him, and she puts her breast in his mouth. And she grabs him and yanks him out of the pit. Yo, literally, yo. It was crazy because she climbed up with one hand and took this full-grown man out of the pit and took him back
wait
to
till
the
you guys see what
nursery.
happens next to Homeboys.
Yeah. She take him to the nursery, and the nursery got the baby on the screen, and the baby, she's feeding the baby. So she wants to do to him like the baby on the screen, and she goes boop. Like, you know how when you're talking to babies, oh, the little baby, it's the baby, there's the boop, right? But she's not doing it like that. She's like, because she got a big monster face. And she's like, boop. It's horrifying, but it's funny as hell to me because this guy deserves everything that he's getting right there. This misogynistic, egotistical dude that felt that he could force himself on women. The tables have turned, and now this monster is forcing herself on him, and he has to pretend to be her baby in order to survive, and he doesn't want to play along. But at this time, the black girl,
they left the cage up. Like the abomination never closed the cage. Like she snatched him up and ran with him.
Yeah.
And gives her enough time to leave, man. She started. What's funny is like she gets out because she's she got a good feel of the layout, it looks like at this point. It's just she's never been able to get out. So she eventually starts to go, but she steps on that measuring tape. And then it just like the barbarian, whatever you want to call it, the monster, hears it and starts running at her. And then you guys know that the dude that was chasing her into the house that we were talking about earlier, like she tries to go up the stairs, but the door has shut again. This door is such an issue. Like, so I'm thinking something about to go happen, but she ends up breaking the window, and that dude that chased her into the house helps her get out. And then, like, right when she's about to be pulled out completely, you see the hands of the creature almost grab her feet. Like, that was that close. It was that close.
It was so scary because it's like, and you see her big body in the window. It's like, you just got away from me.
You know, we could skip a little bit. You know what I liked in this movie? When, because she eventually is like, look, I'm not going to leave him down there. I'm going to go back. She gets the cops. The cops don't believe her. And what's funny is I love when they get with the homeless dude. And he's sitting there and he's like,
so you want to get to the part where, all right, so
sit there.
Let
me say this part. Let me see this part real quick.
Wait, hold on. Let me just set it up real quick, and then you can just say this whole part because I know this part is good for you because it was great for me. All right, so she gets to she walks to town. She's trying to find people to help her, and it's before it's nightfall, right? And she's like, yo, please help. This man is about to die. I've been held captive for 2 weeks. And in Detroit, there's a lot of crackheads and stuff like that, apparently. Well, she must look like and fit the bill as a crackhead. They try to take her back to the place. They're like, you don't got any keys, whatever. Get away from this place. And then she starts to be belligerent to the police officer, and they left, and they had to go on another call. And they just left her there. And she winds up getting inside to go back down for this dude. Go at it. And then they get out of the house, and they get to the water tower with the black guy. But go ahead.
Yeah, so it's not. So they get to this dude, and first off, keep in mind that she's hit the creature with a car. Because he said, "Yo, whatever you do, don't stay here after dark." So she tried to save him, and she ends up running away. And she tried to get in the car. Because at this point, when the cops ain't listening, she's like, look, I'm going to take my car and go find someone else, which she should
Yeah.
have did that from the start. Let's be real here. Like, why is she running around when she could have gotten her car from the start? So that's kind of unbelievable. It is what it is.
Plot hole.
So, ironically, the moment she gets in the car, homegirl decides to bust out the door. Because he said, yo, this creature comes out at night. Be gone before the night. So she comes out, the creature comes out, homegirl runs her straight over, hits the car, and they kind of make you try to feel bad for the creature because it's like, so she goes in there, and at the same time, the dude that was being forced to be breastfed, because she went up there to get her, he's escaped and he's went the other way instead of the way to the exit, and he came across the dude that was in the flashback, and so that dude ends up unaliving himself with a gun. So he takes the gun and he goes and he's sitting there, he's going real slow, and he shoots the black chick trying to come and save him. So keep in mind, this dude is pathetic in all ways, shapes, or form, and everything always going on, and he just shooting people for no reason. Because here's the thing, King. Maybe I can understand you being a little bit, like, on trigger happy.
Right.
But we've seen this big creature. First off, you know it's going to make a different noise. You know it's going to make a different noise. So it's just like, I don't understand how you would get the two confused. You know what I'm saying? Like,
me personally, I thought, because he didn't have a little light or something, I thought that was weird, right? Because she goes, hello, pow. Goes,
knowing
God,
that this thing can't talk like that either. So
I'm sorry.
So what's funny is, she's shot, so he's carrying her around. Because I generally do think that this dude is one of those people that he'll mess up and he'll actually feel bad about it and he tries to fix it. But he is such a coward that any amount of pressure, he'll go right back to his old ways. So they get to this homeless dude, the dude that saved her. And they sit there and she's like, look, I know she's shot. We can't go out there at night. She'll get you. We'll stay here till in the morning. We'll get her help then. And he's like, well, how do you know she's not going to come? I've lived here 15 years and she ain't never came here. The moment he says that, she breaks through the back door, the back wall, and kills this man on sight. Like,
yo, so how she kills him, I don't care what anybody say. This is probably the cheesiest thing that could ever be done. She rips his arm off and beats him with it. Yo. That's the moment it sealed its rating for me. That moment right there. And, because we skipped a huge part in there. So for you guys that's gonna go see it or whatever, it's something that happens that y'all really need to see that's in that middle part that we skipped. All right. So, and at the end part, she's shot and they're trying to get away from the monster while she's over there beating the black guy with his own arm. And they go up to the top of the water tower and, the douchebag makes an executive decision because the monster's right there and he drops the gun. Oh, Mr. Fumble Fingers now drops the gun and he grabs the black girl by her hair.
She was like, what are we going to do? He's like, I can escape, but you're going to have to keep her busy. Like, and throws her off of the water, the whatever it is. Throws her off.
It was a water tower.
Yeah, a water tower. Like, what's funny is the creature cared more about that chick than he did.
Yeah.
Because the creature...
She thought it was her baby.
Yeah, the creature jumped off after her.
Because he told the creature, go get your baby.
and you know what the sad part is? He gets down there thinking they're both dead, and the black girl's still alive. He's like, "Oh my god, I just panicked. I just." And I'm at this point, dude. It's like, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt through multiple times in this movie. It's like, no, you over.
You're a bad dude.
You over. It's like
because the monster saved her because she grabbed her out of the air and turned her body around to take the brunt of the fall. So she fell on the monster and was still alive. And I thought that was compassion from the monster, because the monster, she was with her for 2 to 3 weeks, right? You said.
Mm-hmm.
And she fed her. This is probably the one that didn't want to get away or something like that. So, she I guess she had feelings for her.
And I think the monster kind of knew she could live from that fall.
Yeah.
I think she probably knew that, because she didn't die. And she kills homeboy that's been doing all this suspect stuff the whole movie. Because he picks her up and he's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna get you to help." Carries her like half a foot, and then the chick's the monster's gone. She shows up behind him, grabs his face and just rips it in half, and then the black girl ends up killing the creature.
Yeah, she has to, because the creature was going to take her back.
I kind of thought that for some reason I thought it was going to end like a bad way, like she was going to take the creature back. She was going to take her back. The creature was
going to take her back. Yeah. It leads to more stuff, because it says there's more stuff there, because they said that's not the only thing that's down there, because there was a lot of inbreeding, because this guy
so
was.
There might be more of those down there.
Yeah, so they might lead into a franchise to it. So I mean, we went on a lot about this. I found it entertaining. You went first last week, so I'll go first this week on giving it my rating. I'm gonna give it a rating of 3 popcorn. Actually, no, 2 popcorn. I'm gonna give a rating of 2 popcorn because it's a super cheesy, super B film. I'm gonna give it a rating of 2 popcorn, and that's about it. But is it something that will give you a laugh? I thought it was going to be something akin to Saw. I thought it was going to be like a torture film, and it wasn't. It was literally turned into a comedy when the Jeepers Creepers dude got there. Well, it was a comedy for me, but up until then, it was a little bit of a thriller, a suspenseful film. So yeah, I give it 2 popcorn.
I'll give it a 3.
Give it 3?
I think it was. Here's the thing, like, it's one of those things. It's kind of like how I feel about like AAA games.
Right.
It's not a AAA game, but it's something fun that I would play if it came in Game Pass. You know what I'm saying? I would watch it game. It's not bad. I don't think it's anything special by any means. Like I said, they opened up a lot of flaws in the movie that they never really branched on, which I think they could have did better on. But I do think it's worth a watch. As far as that, it is worth a watch. I think they could have expanded a little bit more into the origins of the creature. Maybe that's for a sequel if they want to do one. But they killed the creature, so I don't know if they would even do that. Like, maybe have a scene or two more about the past. You know what I'm saying?
And have more creatures. Because remember, it was inbred, and this happened over a period of time. You have a bunch of cages down there, so obviously there was more children, because and you saw the videotape, so it was more people that he kidnapped and how can you say it, aggressively forced himself upon them to impregnate them. So it's honestly it's a lot more to the story, and they could tell a better story, because I thought the story was disjointed in a lot of spaces. I thought it leaned heavily into the shock horror type of thing, but again, it could have been better. I thought, given the caliber of actors that were there, that they would have did a little bit more.
Like probably the highest paid person there, like fast.
That threw me off. I thought he was the bad guy.
I think they should have probably kept them both alive, and then maybe have him die later on in the movie or something like that.
How do you keep the male alive if you're going to introduce another leading man?
I feel you, but maybe have one of those things where they drag him away and they hear noises like he's being killed, but he shows up like at the end to help her because she never killed him. She put him in a different cage. So I mean,
Because
there's
it was different ways down the hallway. Remember,
Yeah.
she was scared to go to certain ways too. So I don't know. It's more stuff that we're gonna see. Hopefully, we can get a little bit more into this world, and I can get it up to at least 3.5 popcorns for me, or 4 popcorns. Oh, we don't do half popcorns here. It's either
Yeah.
full popcorn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And very rarely you're gonna see a 5 popcorn from us because you have to earn that, baby.
Yeah, and
Well,
obviously
Attic.
we're gonna be doing like the movies and TV shows. I do got one thing I want to talk about real quick before we head out.
Go ahead, brother.
Walking Dead has officially ended.
It did?
Yeah, yesterday, the day before yesterday was the last final episode of The Walking Dead.
Wow. I stopped watching it right before Egan showed up with a baseball bat.
That's actually, I think, was the highlight of the show. Was Egan? Or was Negan? I'm
Yeah.
on season 11 because now since I know it ended,
Jesus.
I want to finish it. And like that's what I was doing before this show. Is I was watching The Walking Dead, which my voice is going out for some reason. I don't know why, but
Well, it's because of the coughing. I got the same issue too. So a lot of times you hear me like try to clear my throat.
It's look, is The Walking Dead? Well, did they drag it out for years? Yes, but I would never say it's a bad show. I would just say that we are at a fatigue for zombies in general at this moment, and I would say that The Walking Dead started it on. It's weird that it's been going on for like 11 years. Most TV shows never go on this long. But
yeah, it's a good series, to be honest with you.
But I definitely wanted to point that out because I don't think people love to hate on The Walking Dead, and sure, is The Walking Dead like the best show ever made? No, not even close. But I do think that it doesn't have too many lows. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as like pacing, action going on, I think it's just The Walking Dead fatigue speaking, not necessarily a quality of the show.
Well, I think all the spin-offs did it, like, the
Fear of the Walking Dead. Apparently, they're going to do one with Maggie.
So what are we going to watch next week? We gotta come up with something.
A movie.
I'm watching Arresting. What is it? RIPD2. I think it is.
Oh, with the dude from Burn Notice. I saw that on Netflix.
Yeah, the Repo.
Have you seen The Voyagers on Amazon Prime?
No, what's that?
Yeah, watch that. We'll
is it a show or it's a movie?
It's a movie. It's a
Voyagers.
The Voyagers. I think it's a Prime movie. I can't remember.
All right, so that's the next assignment, Voyagers?
Yeah, I've seen Voyagers. Watch the Voyagers and like 1 or 2 episodes of Attack on Titan, and we'll go over that.
All right, well, okay, I'm gonna watch Attack on Titan. I'm gonna get up to episode 6, and so all right, so guys, next
watch
week,
the Voyagers with your girl though, because it's a good movie to watch as a couple.
Oh no, I made her watch this one with me. I'm a huge punk. Sit there with a shotgun while I go to bed. So the Voyagers, it's on Amazon, and I have to make sure that I'm inside my camera view. That's gonna be fixed soon. So you guys listen, we got a lot of things coming, a lot of things happening.
It's like,
but what I tell people is we gotta just start,
Yeah, right now I think it's the best time to just find out how we want the show. I don't think we'll break, because I didn't expect us to break that movie down that much. You know what I'm saying?
Me neither.
That's maybe because there's not like a whole lot to talk about, because like a lot of the big shows just ended. But we got like what Disney? When's the next Disney Plus show?
It should be soon. I'll check the schedule.
We got Avatar next month.
Yes,
there's a lot we can talk about. There's a lot we can talk about. Power just ended, unfortunately. So did Dragon, House of the Dragons. But we'll get to the point where, I want to have like sessions where we talk about the episodes in detail. We'll have like brief going over them all, and then we'll have the spoiler thing come up, and then we'll just start spoiling the hell out of the shows. But I do want to give you guys the opportunity for us just to like pick the episode apart without spoiling, and then we'll go into spoiler territory, because I want them to understand that they can watch this without watching the episode to see if it's like even a movie they want to watch, or an episode or a show they want to watch. But yeah, Voyagers, I think it's on Amazon Prime. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it's
I'll
on
double
Amazon
check.
Prime. It's an Amazon exclusive, whatever it's on. It's an exclusive to that platform.
Okay.
And it's a good movie. It is. It's a
All
good
right.
movie. Me and my girl watched it. But this is episode 2 of the R&R. Well, it's really like episode 10 or 15, but we're not counting those other ones. So this,
No, we're not counting them. We're
the-
going to erase them from the archive.
just like we did the first 10 episodes of IOP. We dictate what happens here. But I talk to you guys later. We'll see you next week.